Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another live stream. Welcome back again to the channel that is your home for tech, toys, and talk. And of course, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again for another live stream. This one's going to be a little bit different, guys. I'm going to be geeking out a little bit on Power Rangers and on most recent season, Cosmic Fury. Now, there's going to be some criticisms about it, but guess what, guys? This is a spoiler. Well, this is a no spoiler. Well, this is going to be a spoiler zone. Fair warning, anyone who's watching this, if you are a Power Rangers fan and you have not watched Cosmic Fury, you want to come back after the stream. You want to watch it after you watched everything, because we're going to be discussing everything and anything about Cosmic Fury. Let's take a look at the chat. We already got people popping through. We got Blue Sasquatch. Love the music, Dave. Yeah, that's actually a little theme I used when I did the Leapcast last year for the Quantum Leap discussion stream that we did last year. I might be reviving that again this year. We'll see what happens. We got William popping up in the chat saying, "What's up, Dave?" And of course, Astronaut Ranger saying, now, Astronaut Ranger saying, I'm going to throw this out to you. Have you watched Cosmic Fury yet? And I've already watched it. I watched it actually Friday. Binged it one big block. And I'll be honest, I loved it. And I have some opinions that might push people into different directions. Some people might not like my opinions, but you know what? Hey, it's my channel. Now, Astronaut saying, would you care to jump in? I have a link at the top of the chat for anyone who wants to pop in. And discuss this. And it's always better if I actually have someone to talk with. Rolando, the multiversal moderator himself, he is the Matrix. Ranger Sane says, yeah, I watched it all on Saturday. What did you think? But again, like I said, I have a link in the top of the chat. If anyone wants to pop in and actually do an actual verbal discussion, you don't have to appear on camera. We can just have your logo pop up if you want. And Rolando saying hello to everybody. I'll be honest. I started with Power Rangers when it's, well, hell, the first season. So yeah, I've been watching Power Rangers for 30 years. I did skip Ninja Steel. Okay, we got Legacy popping through the chat. Yo, stuck in traffic but listening. Yeah, Legacy, you might, if you haven't watched the entire, I'm going to be spoiling things during this stream. So if you haven't watched all the episodes, my brother, you might want to tune to a different stream or catch this on the flip side, because I want to do a full-blown discussion on things I picked up on, my thoughts. So I'm going to be discussing every aspect of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury and what I believe it leads into. I know there's been so many news outlets and so many people who've said that, this is the end of Rangers. It might be the end of Rangers as we know it, but I personally feel it's going to continue forward, and I'm going to get to that point a little bit later. Let's just go ahead and check out Rolando saying hello to the Legacy of Nerd. Astronaut saying, I loved it. Was pretty good to me. I mean, to me, this might be a little bit of a hot take. This was the Rangers season. This is Rangers that we've been missing for a while. It was dark. It was bleak at times. We didn't have the fluff and filler that you normally have, when the Rangers are on Earth and they have their daily lives. We didn't have any of well, we had a little sprinkle of that in the first episode or so. But for the most part, I mean, it was, to me, this is how Power Rangers should be, I mean, even SPD had its dark moments. This definitely had Power Rangers in space vibes. It really did, because the Rangers had an immediate mission that they had to go on to. They had to, track down. Well, we're going to get into that in another minute or two, but they had a mission. They were full focused, full throttle on that, and there was no fluff or filler. And I definitely think for older fans like myself, I think that's definitely the way to hold on to the older fans and to keep people engaged. Because yes, it is a kid show. First and foremost, let's be honest, Power Rangers is, and for the most part, has been a kid show. But those kids get older, and they might become disinterested. I think that's the big takeaway for for that Hasbro needs to take into account, and also Netflix by extension. But to me, it was full on. I loved it. Do I have any reservations about it? Honestly, no. I have reservations about the merchandise. That's another story. That's a whole other stream all onto itself. William saying, "Hey, what's up, Rolando? What's up, chat? How's everybody? Hope everyone's well." I think everyone's doing well for the most part. We got William H. Grimsley popping up in the chat, my friend. By the way, anyone who doesn't know who William H. Grimsley is, he's a friend of mine. He is a tremendous friend of Cold Bane Games, but he's also an author. He has several books out there. The Keeper's Gambit. You can definitely find him on. You can find him on here on YouTube, obviously. You can also find him on Facebook. That's probably one of the best ways to keep track of him. He's got, I think, Will, you are at 3 books now. I think were you working on a 4th one now? So please go ahead and check him out. Will is a great writer, an awesome person, a great DM, because we did Dragon Age that one time, and that was a riot, and I hope we do it again sometime soon. But he's a great person. You definitely want to check him out. Legacy said, I watched after having drinks with a certain Red Ranger. I bet you did. The Red Ranger he's talking about, he was Legacy, him and Kenobi, yes, that is Jiddo Kenobi. They were at a con this past weekend where it was basically an in-space Power Rangers in-space reunion. So he hung out with Andros himself. Big ups to you, man. I'm sure that was a blast. I mean, yes, shameless bragging. Hey, hey, if you're hanging out with the Ranger, you're hanging out with the Ranger. I mean, it is what it's not necessarily bragging, it's just a fact. Like Kenobi hanging out with a certain Star Wars actor. Hey, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens. William says, "Hey, William, that's a great name. Hope you're well." Thank you, Rolando, throwing William H. Grimsley's YouTube in the chat. We'll drop some videos every now and again, but he's also on Facebook, and like I said, he's an amazing writer. You definitely want to check out his books, so please do that on Facebook. So let's get the show on the road, as the kids say, right? So, yes, thoughts and reactions. Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Is this really the end? We're going to get to that towards the end of the stream, obviously. And by the way, guys, if anyone wants to pop in either on phone or you want to pop up on video, the link is at the top of the chat, guys. It's pinned. It's pinned right there. So please go ahead and hit that link. You can teleport right into the morphing grid. I got the link right up there if you guys want to. If not, we're just going to go ahead and proceed. And again, I hope everyone's having a good night. I mean, it's Tuesday. I'm trying something a little different. And by the way, before we proceed, speaking of live streams, there's a lot going on this week. If you're not familiar, me and Dre of the Collector's Safe Space, we have our weekly live stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Outer Dimensions podcast channel, also simulcasted on the Collector's Safe Space, and of course also simulcasted here at Dave's Dimension. This week we're closing out Hispanic Heritage Month. That was September. Dre had some family business that came up last week, so we're going to be closing out the last week for Hispanic Heritage horror movies tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So please tune into that. And also this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're doing our monthly mental health stream. So please tune in and join us for that. And you can find that scheduled on Dave's Dimension, also on the Outer Dimensions podcast channel, and also scheduled on the Collector's Safe Space. So let's get the show on the road. Thank you again, Rolando. He's throwing out all the links. He's got Will's Instagram out there. Thank you very much, my friend. Excuse me. So, Power Rangers, thoughts and reactions, Cosmic Fury. Honestly, I gotta say, Cosmic Fury was definitely what we needed. It was definitely, I think it was the shot in the arm. It was too short, but you got to figure we didn't have the fluff and filler. And usually an episode is more like 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so of action. So, I mean, we had pretty much nonstop action for the most part. So, with that being said, I mean, they did half hour, roughly about 30 or so minutes each episode. And I mean, it did feel like I mean, come on. Everyone wished they had a longer episode or more episodes. I mean, I would have loved it. We had so much in here. Whoa, let me go back. So yes, we get Lord Zed. Zed is back. He was freed from the crystal that he was held in by some squid. I forget the squid queen, a big corporate CEO of some kind of evil organization. Her and her social media obsessed daughter freed Zed, and pretty much they're the ones backing Zed, like giving him his own like Zed troopers and these drilling ships that pretty much allowed creatures to turn into like big giant robots. It was a whole thing. But yeah, Zed is back, and this is evil Zed. This is Zed without Rita harping on him. It was the old school Zed. If you watch Dino Fury, then you know the Zed we're talking about, and this is Zed from like pretty much almost the same type of Zed we had in the first season of, I think it was season 2 of Power Rangers when Zed first showed up. So he was all about the evil, and we were loving it. Now, well, of course, just like before, Zed took the Blue Ranger, made him evil. Dino Fury Blue, he got turned evil, Ollie was evil once again. However, what do we get here? We get a little bit of backup. We get the original Blue Ranger himself, the OG, the Tony Stark of Power Rangers universe himself, Billy. Billy Cranston, aka Billy Blue Eyes, aka the Power Ranger himself, Mighty Morphin Blue. And he did not disappoint. Yes, Billy's getting older, but hey, Tommy could still pull it off when he did Dino Thunder, so why not? Let's take a look here. David's life. As I'm sure that this is a great video by the looks of it, I have to go watch the series first. Keep on doing great work through and keep doing great work though and being awesome. Thank you, David's life. Yeah, this is definitely a great series to watch. I think it's the best series we've had, maybe going back 5 or 6 or maybe even 8 seasons of Power Rangers. I dare even say that. And I'm sure that might get a little bit of hate for me, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you, Rolando, for throwing out David's Life's YouTube channel link right there. So go ahead and please subscribe to David's Life. So yeah, and hey, we can see a nice contrast between those blues too. So yeah, Billy shows up, kind of giving the Dino Fury Rangers a little bit of backup. I mean, it is Billy, but it's great getting a little bit back up, but we had some dark times here. Okay. The Rangers basically, their powers are getting destroyed and they're kind of like on their own. And we see a staff in Javi's hands, or what's left of his hands, should we say. Now, what happens is at one point they're on planet Zordia. We'll get to that in just a second. Now I'm going to be skipping over some chunks here, so we're not going to be spoiling every single moment, but we're going to be kind of touching on some of the highlights here. Now Izzy is talking to her brother here. This is actually a scene that happens later in the season, but I wanted to showcase this because I was trying to find screen grabs. Javi loses his arm. The Morphin Masters are basically being absorbed into a tube, very similar to how Zordon was encased in a tube of energy. Basically, they're kind of being hoovered up by these devices. Okay, what happens is one of the Morphin Masters leaves their staff behind. Javi takes his staff into this kind of an altar of Zords on Zordia, but the power's too much, and literally his whole right arm, bam, vanishes. disintegrates, vaporizes. This is the first time we get a ranger losing their limb. I mean, we've had rangers like Kendricks who died, and Essence came back and whatnot, but we get a ranger who's basically debilitated in a sense. He loses his arm, he's in shock. I mean, these are things we've never visually seen, and thank you Netflix, thank you Hasbro for going down this road. I mean, this is something we've never really seen before, and thanks to Billy and thanks to Solon, he gets a new robotic arm, which he doesn't fully have control of yet. But I mean, this is kind of a serious thing because not only did he lose his arm, but he's a musician. From a musician's perspective, you can think of it this way: my arm is my music, my arm is my talent. I mean, he's going through his mind like, I'll never play again. What am I going to do? And that is, that's not really fluff or filler. That's some serious tones here. And we even hear earlier the evil squid queen, I keep forgetting her name. She actually mentions how 40 scientists died. We're not used to hearing death being brought up, but she just mentioned it like, oh, by the way, yeah, I went through like 40 scientists died, but we got this. It's like, hey, I went through 40 shirts until I found the right one. That's how she casually kind of, played it off like it was nothing. It's like, hey, I was going through a drawer of batteries and I was trying to find the right one. Oh, finally found it. She just casually batted it off just like that. So yeah, that was pretty intense. So yeah, Javi losing his arm, he gets a robotic one, and it takes a while for him to kind of get it under control. Thanks to Billy and Solon. There's a look at the new Morpher. I really hope that somebody out there, some prop maker out there, makes one that's a 1-to-1 scale that does justice to this very cool looking Morpher. The toy ones that they have out at Target and Walmart and everywhere, oh hell no, I'm totally skipping that. It looks like a Fisher Price Morpher. Not for nothing. I'm being honest. Let's check out the chat here. David's Life says, at Rolando Flores, thanks for the share. Appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. Thus, all the more thanks. David, if you don't know, that's Rolando. Rolando is the Link Master himself. You heard of the Morphin Masters. He's the Link Master. He is the share god of gods when it comes to YouTube and just the internet in general. Astronaut Ranger Sane says, excuse me. He says, the Blue Rangers love this season was great. Yes, we didn't just get 2 Blue Rangers. We had 3 Rangers this season. Trust me, we're going to be covering that too. Yeah, it's about, I mean, it's not forever blue, but it's a good start, is it not? I mean, come on now. But yeah, this is a very cool look. Obviously, this is out of sequence because we can see it's a Blue Ranger. So obviously this would be Javi later on, or not Javi, but Ollie. So after the Rangers are gifted new powers, new morphers, and yes, take a look at that. We got our 5 Rangers here. Trust me, I don't think I could pick the better Red Ranger. Hunter, she did an amazing job as Amelia, as the Red Ranger. And, because as the Rangers get their new morphers, each orb, the power of the orbs basically choose the color. And she's like, wait a minute, this looks like a weird color pink. Like she's trying to kind of deny, like, wait a minute. But, they explain that, yeah, it chose her for a reason, because with the loss of Zyto, we lost Zato because he had died and then come back, but then he was lost to a portal. She was the one leading the team. She was the one saying, hey guys, we need to keep up our energy, or we need to do this, we need to do that. She was commanding, and she not just the writing, but the actress herself did a great job. It was just so awesome. Yeah, Exactly. Astronaut Ranger Sankinus. I couldn't have said it better myself. Love to see Power Rangers grow up a bit. Again, these are echoes of Power Rangers in space. Because after the Rangers lost their turbo powers, they immediately knew they had to go into space to try and save Zordon. And again, the Dino Fury Rangers, they knew they had to go into space and stop Zed no matter what the cost. Whatever they had to do, they had to save their world. They had to save their loved ones. And again, shades of in space, because we get Rangers. Some of them shifted color assignments perfectly here. But we had, they had to do some growing up. They had to make some decisions. I mean, originally Izzy was leaving Fern behind, and she was supposed to be going to college to join Fern in college, but there was this big calamity. They do come back to Earth, and that's obviously, spoiler alert, Fern becomes a Ranger. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. There you go. Right after the initial morph sequence, we get Izzy still in green. We get Aeon rocking the gold. And of course, we get Amelia with the hammer time. Hammer time. And of course, hey, with his robotic arm, we get Javi with an axe. I mean, come on. He's a rocker. What else are you going to give him? You got to give him an axe, right? These suits were definitely awesome. I mean, I love the color scheme. They gave him a little bit of a muscle padded suits to make him look a little bit more heroic, more Marvel-esque, I guess, but I love the armor shielding going over their shoulders. It's very reminiscent of a certain Mighty Morphin Power Ranger who was evil and became good. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. I like that they went with the silver. It adds a lot of contrast. I will say one thing. I like how Aeon has his two-tone here. I would have liked a possible two-tone with the others, but hey, I love the belts, kind of giving the faux belt buckle morpher look, even though their morphers are a wrist. And by the way, their morphers also doubled as blasters, and that was pretty awesome itself. Now, let's talk about the evil ranger in the room here. Ollie being evil, and what happened was the Rangers got the idea, hey, if we can basically destroy the powers, then Ollie won't be under control because Zed's controlling him under the power. Well, they destroy the power. He loses his Dino Fury power, but Zed gives him his power back under a nice, dark, evil, twisted Dino Fury armored up version. And I'll be honest, Lightning Collection Hasbro, if you guys make this into a Ranger, I'm buying it. I don't have a single Dino Fury or Cosmic Fury figure or piece of merchandise, but this suit was badass. The dark blue, the black on the one side, the red trim, totally killed it. And the actor who plays Ollie, he was really good at being evil. Was he evil Tommy good? No. Was he Psycho Ranger good? No. Far cry from there. He obviously had still some good essence kind of sitting in there, but he obviously wanted to serve Zed. But I mean, the suit, the armor, chef's kiss, man. Just awesome. Whoever designed it, or if this is, I don't know if this suit is based off of Sentai. Either way, whoever designed this originally, I mean, it's got shades of Dino Thunder with like the dino teeth or claws, the spikes coming out the top. Just looked awesome. I really hope that they do make this into a Dino or a Lightning Collection figure. Here we got the Rangers with their helmets off, with temporary mentor Billy, because Billy was definitely being a mentor towards them. And you gotta love Billy rocking his old school teleporter, his communicator right there. I really do hope that we get more David Yost in the future. And with how the series ended, I see that happening, guys. I really do. I mean, take a look here. I mean, they look fantastic here. We get Anne, Amelia, Javi, and Izzy right there. Of course, everyone got new weapons. And the morphers, I mean, Given the Morphers the old school lightning bolts of Mighty Morphin, I'm sure that was Billy's influence right there. Loving it. Totally loved it. Now, whoa, what do we get here? Speaking of Blue Rangers, yes, we got our boy from Dino Charge from another dimension. He actually was undercover. As you heard me say before, there was like this evil squid CEO and her daughter. Well, her daughter, who's like obsessed with social media, apparently this was her boyfriend. But he was really a double agent the entire time, getting information for the Rangers, communicating with Billy, blue to blue. So yeah, we get a third Blue Ranger for this season. You gotta love it. I believe his name is Heckle. I didn't really follow Dino Charge or Ninja Steel. And that's another thing. We get Mick Canick showing up in the season. And not only does he show up in the season, but one of the Morphin Masters gives him power. And he's a Ninja Steel Ranger again. So that was pretty awesome. So yeah, we had more than one Red Ranger in this season too. So that was pretty awesome. Now, this I'm going to come back to that in just a little bit, guys. Now, throughout the season, we find out that Zato, he is brought back, but he's able to use magic powers to kind of help out here or there. But then we see him kind of get weak and collapse, even sleep for like 14 or 24 hours. That is because he was brought back by the Morphin Masters and their magic. With them being locked away in a tube, whatever life force Zato has, that's all he has. So by using more and more magic, it's like draining a battery. He's on borrowed time. Now, eventually, the Rangers they get new Zords, and these Zords they actually look pretty cool. I saw the toys at first. I wasn't too psyched about them at first, but then I saw the Zords in action. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get a little used to them. And of course, Billy joins them in the Zords, and it's just awesomeness all over the place. Things do get dire. Apparently, Earth is now taken over by Lord Zed, and they have all these spires that are basically blocking the morphing grid to the point where Rangers are losing their powers. They can't morph, they can't do anything, and they're being captured and locked away. All the Ranger teams all over the world. And also this energy field around the Earth also prevents Zords from being utilized. So yeah, it's some dark times here. These are some really high stakes in this series. And it was just nonstop. It didn't seem like there was any lull moments. At one point, Solon is kidnapped, and Fern is like the only one who feels like she just can't stand on the sidelines and do nothing. So she sees that there's one morpher left. She grabs it because she knows that it's a blaster. She doesn't have an orb or anything for it, but she knows it's a blaster. So she takes it and she's able to teleport using this morpher to get to Solon. And she's blasting all these massive, these like weird kind of desert creatures, kind of spider likes. And she sorry about that, people shouting outside. I had to close the window. So she teleports to Solon to try and free Solon. And what happens is she starts to freeze Solon, but then these baddies start showing up again. And she's not giving up on Solon. And Solon grabs her and touches the morpher, but the teleporter's not working because there's gunk all over it. However, when Solon touches it, there's like a surge of energy goes from Solon onto the morpher, and then suddenly there's an orb inside, but it's orange. Solon's energy, and they look at the orb, it's an image of Solon. So yeah, somehow Solon became a power source for the morpher for Fern, and Fern became the Orange Ranger. So it was actually pretty cool. twist of things. So yeah, so here's the thing. Here's the question. So like we were saying, Solon power. Solon is a source. So this begs the question: could Solon be a part of the morphing grid, or should Solon's days ever end, will Solon become one with the morphing grid, or even potentially a morphin master, so to speak, or something along those lines? That's something to definitely think about. Um, there's a lot of things going on in this series, and yes, I am talking out of sequence with a lot of this stuff, so I do apologize, guys. So here's my question. I want anyone in the chat who might have seen. I know we've already gotten Ranger saying, or saying Ranger. He definitely loved it. Did anyone think Cosmic Fury was Cosmic Fury or Cosmic Dreary? I've not spoken to anyone who's really had anything negative to say about it, and I really can't think of anything negative to say about the series itself. I think it was spot on. Now, having Billy and Mick back, was that a pro or was it a con? Was it a handicap? Was it just a toss? Was it just something to kind of like pull people in? Was it just a gimmick? I don't think it was a gimmick. I think having Billy back, pretty much to be kind of the mentor, even though Solon is a mentor to Dino Fury Rangers and Cosmic, Solon's kind of more like a mother figure to them. But I loved having Billy back, kind of back being like the wisdom, so to speak, because after Mighty Morphin, when we got Zeo, he gave his Zeo crystal so that he was going to step away, and he was the guy making the Zords, making all the weapons, and kind of guiding the Rangers a little bit too. I mean, he led the Rangers when they were still kids. So I mean, it's it was great seeing Billy in that role, and I want to see more of that. I mean, we got a little bit of that in Once and Always, but I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that. I would love to see another season or two with Billy being heavily involved, and I'm sure David Yost would be up for that. Mick Mechanic, he's a little bit of comic relief, but I mean, he's a little bit more stand up too. I mean, he was definitely, there for the action and helping the Rangers out any way possible. And then he's rewarded by getting his powers, and they even let him take a Zord back to his planet so he can try and defend his world. So I love that. Now here's another question, guys. Is Zed the darkest villain in all of Power Rangers? Trust me, arguments can be made. Rancic, for killing the original, supposedly killing the first Red Ranger for Time Force. There's arguments that can be made for Lothor, for tons of different villains out there. But I think Zed is definitely he's definitely the creepiest looking one. He has the evil laugh. He's just, he's all about being evil. But I mean, there's definitely arguments that can be made for other villains throughout the entire canon, the televised and movie canon of Power Rangers. Let's just say, I thought the 2016 Power Rangers reboot movie with Rita. I thought she was a great villain. She would be a perfect match for Zed, for TV Zed, I think. So, I mean, a lot of arguments can be made there, guys. A lot can. Speaking of a lot of things, we got Geek Strong in the chat. Hey, Dino the Machino, hope you're doing great. We're just having a little Power Ranger Cosmic Fury talk. The season dropped, and I binged it over the weekend, and we're having a nice little discussion about it right now. I know Dino's not necessarily a Ranger fan, but thank you for popping through, my friend. And of course, Rolando throwing out the link for Geek Strong. Geek Strong is an awesome channel. If you're not already following it, Dino does some amazing shorts, of a lot of great comical shorts, a lot of great collection. His collection is a lot of great vintage stuff. So if you're a vintage toy collector, or you just want to see something awesome in nostalgia, check out Geek Strong. But yeah, I mean, this season was filled with tons of stuff. I mean, yes, Ollie and Evil Ranger for the second time. The only time I think we ever had a Ranger go evil twice, technically speaking. We had, of course, Tommy, Jason David Frank from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He started out when he was forged as a Ranger as evil, but then they brought back a clone of him and gave him the Green Ranger power. So he was evil that time. And there's this one episode stints where he was brainwashed to be made evil in Power Rangers Zeo, thanks to the Machine Empire. We went over Javi losing his arm. To me, I was just blown away that even happened. Completely blown away that even happened. And by the way, guys, once again, if anyone wants to hop in, you want to join the discussion, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. So please go ahead and hit that. And by the way, talking about hitting buttons, if you're loving this stream, if you're enjoying it, I want you to hit that red button that says subscribe. I want you to hit that bell for notifications. And please, by all means, if you're enjoying this, hit that like button, guys. I would greatly appreciate that. Now, let's keep it going. Like a very bad Casey Kasem. We'll keep it going. So, just get the scroll going right there. But let's keep it going here. The Solon power, I was really surprised by that. I mean, we've seen some pretty amazing things, but Solon, I guess, being a dinosaur, let's face it, Dino Fury, Mighty Morphin, and Galactic Beasts with, I mean, there's so many different sources. I mean, it says potential. Could Solon become part of the morphing grid, or maybe Solon's essence has always had a part of the morphing grid in her? I mean, there's a lot of things we don't know about that. And of course, I had spoiled that Fern becomes a ranger. Family of rangers, let's look at it. Izzy and Javi are brother and sister, and now Izzy's girlfriend, and presumably as long as they have a happy ending, they could get married, and that'd be a family of 3 rangers right there. That's something kind of fun and awesome to think about right there. I mean, we really ever had a family of rangers other than maybe Lost Galaxy and Ninja Steel? I really can't think of having family rangers before. Oh, speaking of chats, we got the Duffman's diorama in the chat. Guys, please go and check out Duffman's diorama on Instagram. He has one of the best Instagrams ever. He makes some amazing dioramas. The guy is an amazing collector. You definitely got to check him out. And speaking of checking things out, we got Dre, my partner in crime, the co-founder of the Collector's Safe Space, head of the CEO of the Collector's Safe Space, and also co-host of the Outer Dimensions podcast, co-founder of that, and also co-founder and co-host for the mental health stream that we have going on this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Please join us if you can. Everyone's popping through right now. Everyone's saying hello to everybody else. Captain Spaulding. Dave, brother, made it. Yep. We're talking a little bit of Power Rangers Dino Fury. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. But already we're at 11 likes. I thank you guys tremendously for that. If you do have any friends or family who are into Power Rangers, please share this stream to them. This stream is going to stay up. It's just I am spoiling the hell out of everything, but that's who I am. It's who I am. It's what I do. Rolando throwing up everybody's drink. Can't talk straight. Everyone's links. Thank you guys. And by the way, if anyone wants to pop in, the links, I have a link up to the morphing grid up here. So if anyone wants to hit that link, you'll teleport into the grid and join me here, and we can keep the conversation going. Otherwise, it's just me rambling on and on and on and on and on. Power Rangers, I'm here for the brothers. That's what Cap says. But I mean, this season it had a lot. I know there's several people who were not keen on Power Rangers. They lost the vibe for Power Rangers, but I felt it kind of come back. It gave me a little bit of hope. Now, we're going to go back to right here. Now, as I said, Zato was losing his energy because he was doing magic left and right, helping people when they're in needs. Even two former bad guys who are actually being good now, he actually helped them. He saved them a little bit, but it kept draining him, finally to the point where his life essence kind of gave out. But when that happens, now see, it looks like Zato, and we have Ion there. Ion held on to Zato's essence, and he got pulled into the grid himself. And he's talking to who he thinks is Zato, but it's not Zato. Take a look at those eyes. Zato did not have blue eyes. He's talking to this person, all wrapped in white clothing, and he's talking to him. And he's telling Aeon that he needs to go back, that the other Rangers need him. Geek Strong says, Dave, I actually really like Power Rangers. I watched the older shows back in the day. I would love to start watching again. Well, Dino, if you love the older shows, it's a small season. It's only 8 or 10 episodes on Netflix right now. And it's the Dino Fury Rangers who become the Cosmic Fury Rangers. And they have a part-time mentor, Billy, the original Billy, David Yost from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, is in the entire season. So it gives a little bit of nostalgia. It doesn't feel forced. It feels fluid. I mean, if you loved Power Rangers in space, this is right there. This is totally it's going to get your blood pressure going. It's going to get the blood going. Exactly. Legacy and Nerd popping in chat saying this scene made me tear up. And I'll elaborate onto what he means by that, guys. Okay. What he means by that is Aeon's talking to what he perceives as Zato, but it's not Zato. We find out, and as soon as I see the blue eyes, I knew who this was. I totally know who this was. And then it was cemented when he gave his parting words to Ion. I'm trying to remember the exact words. I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically he said, what I used to say to my young friends or to my young Rangers is, may the power protect you. Now, if you're a Ranger fan, you know who that is. You know who that was. That was Zordon. Zordon is not gone. He is still in existence inside the morphing grid. He just took the appearance of Zato. So Ion had someone familiar to communicate with. It blew me friggin' away, and like I was feeling it. I had the feels. I was like, whoa. Geek Strong said, I did watch the recent Netflix movie and I enjoyed it. He's referring to the special Power Rangers Once and Always, which you definitely should check out. It's still on Netflix. It kind of picks up the story of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers years and years later. Billy obviously restored all the powers, and there's so much in there, so many feels. If you're a Power Rangers fan, you definitely should watch it. I'm talking to you, Dino. Go ahead and watch it. It's a great, great show. It's a great special. And, not for nothing, Netflix knows that they need to make more. And this season kind of gives you that vibe. But to know that Zordon really is there, it was, man, it hit me. It hit me so well. Man, it's just, you can't find the right words really. And that's when you have a really good show. Things are going well when you just can't find the right words. When you're stumbling over your own words, just trying to describe it. And it's still not even doing it justice. Just tremendous. And of course, afterwards, go to the next scene. Now, Zato is not forever gone. Zato's essence is still there. And he got a little bit of an upgrade. Yeah, that's right. Zato has now become a morphing master. A Zenith morphing master. Because that's what they called him. So he gets the armor, he's got his staff, all the Rangers are there, including Ollie is a good guy now. Ollie's brought back to being a good guy. But take a look at Zed. Zed got his own little upgrade. Did you guys heard me mention how the Morphin Masters were encased in an energy tube? Well, Zed took on that power, so now he's Master Zed. No longer Lord Zed, he's Master Zed. And he does throw few little mentions of like Dark Spectre, because the evil Squid CEO, she wants to trap Zed in that same energy tube, which she does actually successfully. However, her plan is to shatter that energy tube. Sound familiar? She wants to shatter that energy tube so there's a wave of evil energy to sweep over the universe. Very much like when Zordon's tube was destroyed and an energy wave of good swept over the universe, destroying villains and originally turning Zed into a human form, but this is a different variation of Zed, obviously. But Zato and the Rangers are trying to explain to Zed that his energy tube, once it shatters, the energy will sweep across the universe. But that also means that he's going to be destroyed in the process. They're appealing to him because the thing is, Zed wants to rule, but he wants to rule the universe. If he's gone, he doesn't, he wants to be able to rule the universe. And they're explaining to him, like, hey, the energy tube shatters. Yeah, there's going to be an energy wave of evil, but you're gone too, buddy. Obviously, he doesn't want that. He concedes with the Rangers, and basically, he's back to being regular Lord Zed. But what they do is, obviously, they just can't let him roam. So, thanks to Mighty Morphin Master Zato, they deposit him on a planet that kind of keeps you in your worst nightmares, and his worst nightmare is being stuck with Rita. So that's a little bit of comedy. And they even hint that, Zato even says, anybody could be redeemed, including Zed, hinting that maybe Zed could be a good guy in the future. I think that's something that may have been visited in Boom Comics. So that would be interesting to see if the Ranger stories of the future take more cues from Boom Comics. I've not really read many of the Boom Comic Power Ranger storylines, but I've heard of a few, and a lot of them seem pretty awesome. But that would result in a full-blown reboot, but I don't think that we're there just yet. That's my personal opinion. Speaking of, we got KBG Colbane Games in the chats. Thank you for stopping through, my brother. We're at 12 likes. I want to thank everyone who's popped through. We got 7 watching, 12 likes. I want to thank you guys for coming through. I know Power Rangers currently is not everyone's cup of tea, but I do appreciate you guys coming through. I mean, this was just awesome right here. I mean, Zed looked pretty badass. He got a brand new staff, and he's just all amped up. He's got horns. He looks sick and twisted like never before. So after they deposit Zed on that planet where he's stuck in a perpetual nightmare of his own and he can't escape it, eventually he might become, he might find his way. You never know. Now, now we get to the conclusion of Cosmic Fury. Basically, Zyto joins the Morphin Masters were released from that energy tube, and they were restored, but they took Zato with them. So now we get Ion. They're at a concert of Javi, and by the way, Javi's still with his robotic arm, but he's now able to play drums, and he's learning he can play other music, and he's actually performing a concert. Okay, and the song that he's playing has the chorus of "May the power protect you." Kind of weird and trippy in a way. And Billy's like, "Wow, that's it. That's kind of amazing." He says, basically he says, it's very cool that Javi took my old mentor's words, because he would always tell us, "May the power protect you." And that's when Ion kind of sparks up, like, wait a minute. That's what the guy, that's what the person who looked like Zato in the Morphin Grid told me. And Billy's just like taken aback. He's just like blown friggin' away because he knows only one person ever really said that. It was Zordon, meaning that Zordon is still out there. He's still in existence. He's not completely gone. He wasn't fully dissipated in a wave of energy. Because, I mean, if you really think about it, a wave of energy would go everywhere, including the morphing grid. And maybe the morphing grid locked on to Zordon. And that's how things worked. So now Billy knows that Zordon is out there. He looks at Mick, talks to Mick, is like, hey, would you want to go on a little trip, a little excursion? Let's see if we can find Zordon. I mean, to me, if you're gonna end the Power Rangers saga itself, the entire 30 years of Power Rangers, why would you want in the Netflix special? We had it where that was Billy's mission from the very beginning of the special, that he was trying to find a way to reconstitute Zordon and bring Zordon back. Right? And then we get that same kind of mission brought up again here. And the whole symmetry that there's an energy tube of evil, which is the polar opposite of what happened at the end of Power Rangers in Space. So, I mean, why would you bookend these similarities and bring back Zed if you're ending things? I mean, yes, they could end things, but this is kind of a cliffhanger for us old school fans. It is a major, major, major cliffhanger. And I mean, the look on Billy's face, knowing that's like Zordon said this to Ion, and Ion told it to, mention it to the others, is like Zordon's out there, which means Billy is now going to double down on his mission to restore Zordon. Because, I mean, if it wasn't for Zordon, the original Mighty Morphin Rangers wouldn't have come together. They wouldn't have gone on to the amazing lives that they've gone on to. They wouldn't be the kids who grew up to protect the world and who would give anything to save their world and would sacrifice anything and everything. I'm praying to God. Well, I'm not really a religious person, but I mean, I'm praying to the stars right now that we get more Mighty Morphin, we get more Power Rangers Once and Always style specials, that maybe this template, this schematic, if you will, this outline that they use for Cosmic Fury is used in the future. Maybe a little bit less drama, a little bit less of the goofiness, or a little less of the fluff and filler, so to speak, and we get more of this centered around action, because I definitely think that's the way to go. I mean, if you watch cartoons back in the day, I mean, for the most part, it was mostly action. You could still have a little bit of the fluff and fill sprinkled on, just a little bit, but not a lot. Don't divide the episode half in fluff and half in action. But I mean, the look on Billy's face, David Yost, amazing. He did an amazing job in the season. And here we go. Zato, aka Zenith Morphin Master, still watching his friends from inside the grid. While they're at the concert, we see Mick, we see Anne, we don't see Billy, but we see Amelia, we see Ollie, Ollie's mom, we get Javi, Izzy, Fern, we get Pop Pop, we get, the entire crew, the entire family is right there. Great way to end the episode, to end the season. And that was it, guys. That was it. Again, I think they killed it. I think they did a tremendous job with it. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of news outlets, everyone is saying that this is the end. Power Rangers is going to be rebooted. I don't know. They could definitely reboot a movie. They could do a movie universe separate from the TV shows. I just, looking at everything, I can't sit here and say that this is the end. I truly can't. The reason why I can't is because, I mean, why would you have that hope? That hope of Billy going out there, and he knows Zordon is alive for sure now. He, first he originally had a feeling. He was hoping that Zordon was alive, or he was in existence some way, somehow. And he is. He really is now. We know that there's confirmation that Zordon is out there. It was just, I mean, it was a great episode. And by the way, speaking of episodes, we got Mr. Anything and Everything Power Rangers.
What's up, man?
I mean, look, it looks like he just took one of the Ranger helmets off his head.
Yeah, I've had a day. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a Tuesday, so you know, we all had a day.
Oh my God.
What were your thoughts?
So, first off, I just want to say I've been listening to your stream. I just sat down. I am flabbergasted that you liked it. I thought you may be the ones that were like,
oh,
like really, like this was crap. Like Hasbro doesn't know what they're doing, and I'm like,
I was digging it from jump.
And I heard you say, "Good job, Hasbro," and I don't think I've ever heard you say that before.
I know it's scary. Well, I mean, as far as producing, you know, doing the production, partnering with Netflix, because let's face it, Netflix always gives you a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more darkness, a little bit more serious. But I mean, this season totally mirroring in space.
Yeah,
I mean, energy tube. You know, kind of a teaming up of different evils.
Yeah,
I mean,
they definitely toned down the cheesiness to about 50%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Still your classic Power Ranger cheesy in there, but it just
we had Pop and, you know, we had some of that. Ollie being evil again, you know.
Yeah, I honestly, like Ollie's evil Ranger little theme there was actually really good. As far as evil Rangers go, I think he's up there top 3. He has to be.
Okay.
Did really, really well. Way more successful than Tommy in some aspect. Yeah. Definitely so.
I mean, he was definitely trying to please Lord Zedd, like a father figure, considering he doesn't have a father.
Evil Ranger, which is scary, which is much more scarier than a strong
evil Ranger. Loved his suit.
Calm down. So yeah, the suit was amazing. I was really happy with the season. Of course, there's things that I know that I'll probably go in detail more on my channel. But I was really pleased with it. Of course,
you always get those little inner workings. You get those little hints.
It's not so much inner workings. It's just I know a little bit more than other people because I'm in it. I'm way more in the fandom than a lot of other people. But I enjoyed it a lot. I'm enjoying your stream a lot as well. Your interpretation of Cosmic Fury.
I'm loving how Billy was in there, but he wasn't he didn't take over. He was there when they need him. I love that working. And I mean, definitely, I mean, it wasn't said, but the morphers that they got with the lightning bolt, that, you know, that to me, I interpret it as okay, that's Billy's input, kind of you know, paying homage.
I mean, if you're going to have someone create a whole new power set, who are you going to bring in? So,
yeah.
But I just want to say, great stream, man. I was having fun listening to it. Just wanted to stop by, support you, and everybody here. Make sure you're following, liking, and subscribing.
Yes, sir.
All right. And see you later, man.
Yep. Take care.
Bye-bye.
So that was Legacy of Nerd. If you're a big Ranger fan, whether, you know, Sentai or the Power Ranger saga itself, because of course Super Sentai is what Power Rangers was actually based off of. All the fighting footage and Zord battles were always originally Super Sentai. But if you are a Ranger fan and you want the latest and greatest going on with the Rangers, or any kind of a Ranger conventions or events, you definitely want to go check out Legacy of Nerd. He's got everything. He's got the 411 when it comes to Rangers. But again, this stream was just me, you know, kind of giving my input, my thoughts on Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. I've seen so many people saying, "Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to reboot this. They're going to do that." You know what? Honestly, I can't subscribe to that train of thought right now, because why would they keep hinting at Billy reconstituting Zordon? Who knows? I know there's a lot of people in the community who maybe they want Zordon left alone unless they do it the right way. Could he be reconstituted into a humanoid form? We don't know. I mean, this had so many shades of Power Rangers in space because we hear about Eltar. Eltar is Zordon's home planet, and that's the first planet Zed takes over right in the beginning. It's kind of like his base of operations, believe it or not. So it's like sticking it to Zordon in a way. I mean, to me, I mean, the fighting in here was like overly tremendous. No, it was your atypical Power Rangers choreography as far as the martial arts. I mean, we get the Ranger weapons used against the Rangers a couple times. It was just a great, enjoyable experience. Hasbro producing it did a good job. I said Hasbro producing, okay? As far as the merchandise goes, well, you guys already heard. I'm not a fan of that Morpher that they released. I'm hoping they do a proper Lightning Collection Cosmic Fury Morpher because I think it deserves it. I mean, especially something that can, go onto your wrist. But of course, different people are going to have different wrist sizes, so maybe they have little inserts to offset that. Who knows? There's different things that they can definitely do with it. I definitely think this series deserves it. The Zords are great. I'm actually thinking of looking at getting the Zords. I thought they were, they're fun looking. You didn't have like one conjoined cockpit. They're basically each Zord kind of connects to a large orb, very similar to the orbs that they use for their morphers. And so each Ranger had its own separate cockpit, and I thought that was pretty cool in itself. And they also had remotes. They can remote control different Zords too. So there was a lot of coolness going on there. It was just an enjoyable season. And I mean, you can watch Netflix Power Rangers Once and Always, and then watch Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, in succession. I mean, you could binge them together, and I think it's tremendous. It's great. And I can't believe I forgot this. I left out the greatest thing. There's a massive Zord battle towards the end of the very last episode, and it was Mighty Morphin Megazord. We had In Space, I think we had Lost Galaxy, and we had maybe Ninja Steel and maybe another Megazord was represented. So they had a crew of Megazords showing up. We didn't see all the Rangers piloting them. We saw Billy, and then we saw Min, the Yellow Ranger, but helmet was on, so we didn't see her face, obviously. But yeah, it was very cool. I mean, I thought it was great. I just wish we had a longer season. I wish we had more that I could have watched. Realistically, they could have stretched it out, but maybe the writers felt that maybe it was just long enough. Who knows? But guys, I want to thank everyone who jumped through the chat. Rolando, Duffman, Captain Spaulding, Drave, Collector Safe Space, Geek Strong, Rolando, of course. I also want to thank David's Life. I want to thank William. I want to thank William H. Grimsley, Astronaut Ranger Saiyan. I want to thank all you guys who came through. And please, if you have friends out there who are big Ranger fans, you think they might enjoy this stream, please share this on all your social platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you have, YouTube, share it all over the place. This is going to be up and running, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the direction that they take Power Rangers moving forward in the future. Are they going to reboot? Personally, I hope not. But even if they do, as long as it's fun and as long as it's enjoyable and it gives us, everything that we're craving for. I mean, I'm turning 45 this month. I started watching Power Rangers 30 years ago when I was 15. I was a freshman in high school. And I watched it with my little brothers who are 9 and 10 years younger than me. Okay. The three of us, we would sit and watch Power Rangers and we would discuss the hell out of it. So yeah, I mean, it's a canon that I'm heavily invested in. I mean, you can't see, I have one bookcase of Power Rangers and also have the Ascension Megazord and the Ascension Dragon Zord as well. I had those. I mean, if Lightning Collection taps into Cosmic Fury, I think that might be a way that Hasbro keeps me in the Power Rangers collecting. Because honestly, as of late, I haven't been totally thrilled by a lot of figures. I'm waiting to get Red Turbo, because I never used the head sculpts on mine, so technically I will keep that as part of my Tommy collection. That's the only one that I need, even though I know it is TJ who's actually the Turbo Ranger suit, but Tommy did have Red Turbo first. So once I get that, that's going to be part of my Tommy collection. And I am still, even though it's completely sold out on Hasbro Pulse, I am still working with a few different outlets and sources to try and get my hands on a Master Morpher. It may or may not happen. If it doesn't happen, well, I might just take one of my morphers and modify it into a Master Morpher. There are kits out there that you can get to do so. So, let me just catch up. Colin saying, "What's up, everyone?" We just did a little Power Ranger stream, talking about Power Rangers Cosmic Fury that just came out this past weekend. It's a short season, but it definitely hits all the notes if you're a Power Rangers fan. And I'm just wrapping things up. Colin is an awesome collector. He collects just about tons of different horror and also pretty much a lot of NECA. If you're big into turtles, you want to check out EC Collecting and also That Effin' Figures, which is also Colin's channel. So go ahead and please check him out. That's EC Collecting, a great friend of the channel. And he and I are going to be doing an unbox stream very soon in the future. So guys, please stay tuned to both our channels for that. But guys, that is it. It is 8:08. I have nothing else here for us on this stream. I do have some tacos that I need to eat, so I think I'm going to do that and maybe play a little bit of PS5 afterwards. But as you guys can see, yes, I have tons of G.I. Joes in the back I need to unbox. I have NECA I need to unbox. I have McFarlane I need to unbox. But guys, please, again, you heard me talking earlier. Yep, he said, yep. Yes, very soon. Very soon. Yes. Please stay tuned to Dave's Dimension. We got a lot coming through the pipeline. I got those Joes. I have a lot of stuff I need to unbox. I need to kind of clean up and straighten up the shelves a little bit. Also, guys, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Outer Dimensions podcast. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, simulcasted on the Outer Dimensions podcast channel, on the Collector Safe Space channel, and on Dave's Dimension YouTube channel. We host the Outer Dimensions podcast. Dre and I, every week we discuss different movies. This week we are finishing up our Hispanic heritage, which was delayed last week. We're doing Hispanic horror movies, so please join us then. And also, we have a lot of great streams coming up through the pipeline going on. We are actually planned and scheduled all the way out through January or February now. And you might see a familiar face joining us tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But guys, also this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Collector Safe Space, on the Outer Dimensions podcast, and on Dave's Dimension, we will have our mental health stream for the month of October. So please join us. Mental health affects us all, whether you're old, young, strong, weak. Mental stress, mental health is everywhere. Whether you're being bullied, whether you're having doubts at work, I know I am personally. I mean, it's a stream where people can come together and maybe they can hear other people's thoughts, other people's frustrations, and how they struggle and move forward with those frustrations, how they overcome them, can give you insight to maybe how to deal with a few things going on in your life. And we are not professionals, but we try and gather as much information where we can refer you to actual professionals, because definitely mental health is a very real thing out there, guys. But again, guys, thank you for joining me for Dave's Dimension, your home for tech, toys, and talk. And of course, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. You can always reach me on my socials at Daves_Dimension on Instagram, Dimension Daves on Twitter or the X. And if you ever want to donate to the channel, We have a PayPal at Dave's Dimension. But guys, until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying, keep on busting. You know what I'm going to say. I will always catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.